So Yanki is coming up. He's Yanki Margalit, and he's an entrepreneur and speaker. And he's actually, he's got a Wikipedia page. So I've done a little bit of research on him. He's chairman of Space IL, and he's actually in the competition for Google Lunar X Prize. And he's got some really great insights today on the future of horticulture, agriculture, and how technology can play a part in that as well. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat and the Q&A as well, and we'll make sure that we ask those questions right at the very end. But I can see the chat is super busy, and we've got some brilliant questions that we're going to ask at the very end. Remember, if you have any problems with the translations, then have a look in the chat, and that will give you all the links that you need for that. But right now, I'm going to hand you over to Yanki Margalit.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Michael. And I'm really excited to be here with you. It's a pleasure to see so many flowers, so many interesting ideas. And hopefully I can excite your day a little bit by talking to you mostly about the future. I am excited about the future. I think that mankind is going through enormous changes these days. And the future of our kids probably is going to be completely different from the lives that we are used to live today. So hopefully you are excited as I am, because I look at the future very positively. I'm trying to be prepared for the future, and I'm trying to keep my good spirits when it comes to the future. Let's talk about it. And before I start my conversation, I'd like to introduce Ran to you. Ran is a good friend of mine. You see him on the screen right now. Ran is a farmer. Ran is growing peppers and fish and flowers. Ran is a farmer in one of the hottest places in Israel, the Arava Desert. And over the last few years, he has been struggling with his business. And I truly believe that my story about the future and Ran's story about his challenges are so interconnected, you can somehow appreciate that. I'm going to make a very bold statement. I think that the changes around us in lifestyle, the changes around us in economy, in culture, the process that we are going through, mostly through technology, is so significant that we are actually going to see an evolutionary step forward. We're going to see the creation of Homo sapiens 2.0. And that's going to be the essence of my very short talk today. I'm going to try and describe a little bit what drives that future of Homo sapiens 2.0, the technology that drives it, and maybe take a few lessons for our current present. So let's go forward. I like to play with technology. I love computers. I like innovation. That's my since the very young age. I built my first computer when I was only 15. I started my own company, high-tech company, when I was 23. I was a DJ for a while. And recently, I'm mostly engaged with the combination of technology, sustainability, and the future. How do we make sense of it? How do we prepare for the future? Can we look at all the changes around us, find what is common, and how to drive our own going business and technology and innovation towards that future? So allow me to immediately go to my presentation. So as I said, Ran had a problem. Growing flowers sometimes, or growing peppers in the Arava Desert, was not such a profitable business for him. So he needed to innovate. He needed to connect whatever he was doing to future technologies. And I'm going to show you how he was doing that. But before I do that, I'm going to start with the big trend around us called technology. If you look at the graph here on the screen, you're going to see that something significant has happened 200 years ago. You look at one number, the number of people on Earth. It's a very simple number. How many people live on Earth? It's about 8 billion people today. It's expected to continue and grow a little bit. But there is a very significant change with the number of people on Earth that happened 200 years ago. And I would associate that change to one keyword, which is technology. We are inventing so many sophisticated technologies around us that they help us change what life is all about. What is existence on Earth? So you look at the engines and the railroads and the telephones and the automobiles. That was just the beginning. And right now you're talking about artificial intelligence and the ability to go to space and autonomous vehicles and synthetic biology and the fact that the money is all changing around us with blockchain and Bitcoin and all of that. I think it's about time for us to realize that our future is highly related to the technology that we create, and we should understand what is going on. I definitely agree with the statement that technology has also ruined Earth in a way. I mean, there is a price we pay, there are damages that we need to address, but I will urge you to believe that at that point, if we want to go forward, we have to go forward. Technology must be our friend, not our enemy. The only way to sustain humanity now is to wisely use the assets that we have, to understand the changes around us. And once we do that, I think that we can create a responsible future for everybody. While we are sitting here, two important processes are happening around us. One process is the process of digitization. The world is becoming more and more digital. The corona has driven that trend in a very significant way. We communicate digitally, we trade digitally, we advertise digitally, we do so many things. And it's not just that we communicate digitally, is that our services are becoming, our products, our lifestyle is becoming more and more digital. So this is a clear trend which is happening around us. I mean, if I'm trying to imagine a digital flower in the future, and I'm trying to imagine a digital flower in the future, there is a real flower and there is a digital flower. And yes, we're going to see more digital flowers in the future. So when you think about social media or other electrical, digital, tools that you're going to use, think not just about how to take the current universe and sell it over digital media. Think about what will happen in the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years. Are we going to see more and more digital services related to flowers, related to gardens? I will leave that imagination for you right now. But this is one process, the process of digitization. The world is becoming more digital. The other process which is happening, unfortunately, is the process of speciation. Mankind is now being divided, unfortunately, into those who connect to the future and those who remain in the past. Those who have access to resources, those who use advanced technology, those who can learn at home, those who can work at home, those who can become more and more digital, and those who are left behind. And unfortunately, I think this process is driving humanity apart. And you see the influence of that everywhere. And I think that if we want to be responsible about the future, we should use technology in a responsible way. And we should think about the fact that we are becoming more and more digital, but also the fact that we are becoming more and more disconnected as mankind. Not everybody will become Homo sapiens 2.0. Some of us might stay behind. How do we deal with it? How do we enable many of us, most of us, maybe all of us, to go to the future? I think that at this point, what I'm seeing is the combination of two platforms, the silicon platform and the carbon biological platform. They are united to create a new mankind, a new Homo sapiens. And again, I'd like to stay very positive about that idea, I think we have the responsibility to stay optimistic and maybe change a few things that we are doing right now, but stay positive about this whole change. So I felt like at this point we need to see a bit of flowers. We must see flowers. Flowers relax me. So before we go on, I'll let you enjoy those wonderful flowers, and then we can continue. I'm going to talk now briefly about three major things. One is the concept of the last machine. The concept of the last machine is simply stating that we are going to automate, robotize, and use artificial intelligence for more and more things. So eventually we're going to create the last machine. And the last machine will do everything people need for our existence. So there will be no work. We will not need workers in that. I mean, if you want to work, if you want to spend time, if you want to enjoy life, if you want to do whatever makes you fun or whatever makes you feel good, go ahead and do it. But in the future, as I see it, we will not need to rely on human labor to justify or to sustain our existence. So that's the last machine. I'm going to briefly talk about that. I'm going to then briefly talk about 5, 6, or 7 key technologies which are creating Homo sapiens 2.0, which are building the last machine, which are changing everything around us. It will be a very brief introduction to those key technologies. And I'm going to sum up with the major challenges I see around us as humanity, given that new reality. So let's start with the last machine. The last machine for me is something that we are building over the last thousands or maybe hundreds of years. And step by step, we take another step towards making sure that we as people, we as mankind, we don't need to work. We simply need to enjoy the system. And let me show you how this is going to work. We need energy and we need processes. We have them. We have a great source of energy, which is our sun, an amazing source of energy that if we know how to use it properly, the sun is able to provide us with infinite resource, infinite supply of clean energy. We don't have a resources problem, we have an engineering problem. Once we know how to connect the sun properly, and we learn how to do it day by day to whatever we need, we're going to have a free, clean source of energy. And once we have a free, clean source of energy, we use engineering and processes and software and robots to create whatever we need. So let me show you in a very simplistic way how this is going to be done. If I can connect solar panels and harness the energy from the sun, and then I employ a series of machines, robots, and artificial intelligence to grow and to harvest and to prepare, I can actually create my meal without human intervention in the middle, and that meal is going to be a healthy meal, is going to be, I would suggest, a free meal, because energy is going to be free. Once the last machine is completed, we're going to have an infinite energy at our hands. We will have the processes, and then our houses, our clothing, our food, whatever we need for sustainability will be there. I know that this sounds a bit utopic or too good to be true, and I know that there are many risks on the way. I will discuss it towards the end, but I'm very optimistic. I think that if you look at the last thousands of hundreds of years, this is our best time ever, and I believe it's going to be even better in the future. So this is another lovely flower for you, because before we go to the last part of the second part of my presentation, talking about technology itself. So let's look at a list of key deep technologies which are changing mankind today. I'm going to go one by one, but in a very quick way. Artificial intelligence and robotics, blockchain and DeFi. This is all about finance, synthetic biology, energy, space tech, our ability to go outside of Earth to Mars and other places, and the metaverse, connecting it all under some kind of a new reality, a new augmented or artificial reality. And I'll quickly now talk about each one of them. Let's start with AI. We started doing AI with computer games. It was playing chess. Chess was a real challenge, and then Go, and then poker, and then whatever. And now we know that computer software can beat humankind on every game we play. But this is just the beginning. If you ask me, it is not long before computers and software and artificial intelligence are going to be smarter, more intelligent than mankind. Now, this will not happen at once. It will be in stages. We'll see more and more areas in which software is more intelligent. I would urge you to, let's look at driving. We think that driving requires some intelligence. In a few years, nobody will dare enter a car if a human is driving that car, or an airplane. We will not go on airplane driven by people. We will not go on cars driven, and we will not eat food grown by people. We will have to have the system, the quality, the artificial intelligence involved in that. So we should somehow realize that it's not our enemy, if you ask me, but we have to know how to use it. Computers are becoming in so many ways more intelligent than people, and in a process that will take maybe another generation, maybe 2 generations, we will get used to that idea. Artificial intelligence is here to stay. The second technology I'm going to talk about is synthetic biology. In many ways, synthetic biology is extremely related to whatever you are doing. Synthetic biology is the understanding that technology is not just outside of us. It's not just computers and software and robots. We, people, we ourselves are technology by ourselves. And if we know how to program our genes, our neurons, our ingredients, the moment we know how to program biology, we can create wonderful things. One of the things that we can create in the future, hopefully, is eliminating diseases. One of the great achievements of synthetic biology recently is the vaccination against corona, against the COVID-19 virus. And things are moving so fast here that we are on the verge of fixing significant problems and inventing new types of life with synthetic biology. So now technology is not just the outside silicon computer-based technology, but it's also us and our interaction and flowers and germs and animals. We know how to program that and to make it even better right now. So that's the second technology which is driving us forward. The third technology we should all be aware of is blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and distributed finance. We all used paper money, and we believe that paper money, this is it. Then we got used to plastic money, and we started using credit cards. We are on the verge of killing the paper money and staying with the digital electronic money, plastic money, but it's just the beginning. And we are going through another revolution of making currencies more distributed, more democratic, more global. And it's not just one currency per country, but everybody who has a good cause can create a new currency and we can all use it. This is a big revolution. It started with blockchain and then Bitcoin and then other coins like Ethereum, and then it got to distributed finance, and it moves. Every day there is a new innovation here, and it's becoming mainstream. Today, you can already hold a credit card that you can upload with cryptographic money, with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and spend it like any other credit card. So we are past the way of no return, if you ask me. We are integrating cryptographic money, distributed money into our systems, and it's changing everything we know about the economy. By the way, I advised a few startup companies, and I gave advice to one of the companies I'm working with. I told them, why don't you enable your customers over the internet to pay in Bitcoin or Ethereum? Just try it. It was a huge success. Apparently, there is a lot of people waiting now to ability to spend their crypto money on whatever. So whatever you offer as a service or a product over the internet, it's so easy now to add, accept Bitcoin, accept Ethereum. You'll find a new customer base ready for that. That's the next revolution. The next technology I'm going to address briefly is space tech. We are on the verge of becoming a multi-planetary species. We are going to Mars. We are going to see settlements. Our generation is going to see settlements of humans, of people on Mars. Our kids, it will be so normal for them that you have people on Earth and you have people on Mars, and you have people going into the broader space. Right now, we are sending robots in these directions, and but soon people will follow. There is a big competition right now, who will be the first one, etc., etc. So this is again driving a big change in mankind today. The last technology I'm going to address right now is the metaverse. The metaverse, simply put, is some kind of an amazing interface. It's like when you use the internet today, usually what you do, you sit in front of your keyboard, you use your mouse, you look at the screen, you go to Google, you go to Facebook, you interact, you surf the web. The metaverse is all about the idea that you are going to engage yourself much more with this experience. You're going to have maybe some kind of an avatar, your digital avatar. Who are you when you approach the internet? And then you're going to really serve realities, visual realities, when you go to one place to another. You want to explore a flower, you want to explore a garden, put on your avatar and walk the garden, just visit the garden, just go there. It's not just browsing and see flowers in a shop on Instagram or whatever. It's real you're going to be engaged in a very real way. It's an immersive experience that you are surfing the web. And it will open again another full set of opportunities for future applications, etc., etc. When you look, last technology over here is energy. Energy is critical to whatever we are doing. We're seeing a lot of progress here. The key issue right now for energy usage, for green energy usage, is storage of energy. We need to be able to store energy. We're seeing a lot of progress with storage right now. So we can somehow imagine that in the very near future, we're going to have abundant supply of green energy, which we can store. And then energy is going to be clean and free, which is great. So the question I'd like to ask you, just a couple of slides before I finish up, the question I'd like to ask you is, where do you think this is all going? I mean, you look at artificial intelligence and robotics and blockchain and synthetic biology, energy, space technology, and the metaverse. And I think it will be very stupid of us to assume that next is going to be somehow like what is going on right now. Things are going to change in a very significant way. We feel it. We have the responsibility to make change, to make sure that the change is going in a positive and human fashion. So my last part over here, I'm going to talk about, in a few words, I'm going to talk about the challenges that we are facing. What challenges, what barriers are we facing when we go towards that future? Enjoy the flowers and let's go forward. I believe that we have three major wars to fight, virtually fight, to go to the future. One is the war on truth. The second one is the war on earth. The third one is the war on wealth. If you ask me, it's not 100% sure that everybody will reach the future, that mankind will reach the future. If we fail here, we might destroy Earth. We need to protect our planet in so many ways. If we are going too fast, the planet might not survive that change. If we distribute too many fake news, and if we let too many people be uneducated about what is happening around them, then we're going to have a serious problem. And if wealth continues to be distributed in a way that we have super rich and super poor, we don't want that future. So if you ask me, these are the three major challenges: the war on truth, the war on health, and the war on wealth, that we should be fighting right now to make sure that we go to a positive future. I prepared here one slide to elaborate a little bit on the war on health. There is a David Attenborough movie on Netflix. I highly recommend that you see it. And it's not lost. We can win the war on health. We can do things to win the war. And again, if we want to win the war on health, if you ask me, the key solution over here is technology again. We will need to use smarter engineering, smarter energy, smarter processes, smarter whatever, to make sure that we supply food for everybody, that we supply water for it, and it's possible, and we don't destroy Earth in this process. I'd like to remain optimistic on that point. So my last slide over here, back to Ran. Ran is able to reinvent himself, and let me tell you what he's doing right now. Ran continues to grow flowers because he loves flowers, but at the same time, he has built prawn pools. He's raising prawns to make sure that his prawns are highly of high quality. He uses synthetic biology and genetic engineering to improve his prawns, to make sure that he grows very expensive prawns, very high quality prawns. So this is level one. To make sure that his prawns have shadow, he built panels above his pools, about his prawns pool. And on that shadow, on these, he built a solar energy field. So right now on level one, he grows prawns. He engineers them to become high quality. On level two, he now generates solar energy, which is a great addition to the same land. And now on level three, what he's doing right now, he's using that energy to manufacture cryptocurrencies, to mine Bitcoin, to mine Ethereum, and generate a third level of income for his lovely farm in the desert. And I would encourage everybody right now, you don't have to be a large corporation to enjoy from all these technologies. You can think about the metaverse, you can think about robots, you can think about solar energy, you can think about all these technologies. And I would suggest that each one of us can somehow integrate it even to a small farm in the desert. And whoever does it, in my eyes, has a lot of future. And if you don't connect to that, then you may be less connected to the future. So this is it. I'd like to thank you for listening for me. And I'd like to summarize it all with one very important statement for me. I didn't say it, it was somebody else, but I really love that statement. The world is much better today. Let's not lose that understanding. The world is much better today. We come from very dark ages. We come from very difficult ages. So the world is much better today. We should enjoy it. The second one is the world is awful. I mean, we have so many issues and challenges and injustice and health is in risk. Yes, we have so many problems to deal with. Let's deal with them. The world can be much better, and it's in our hands. So let's stay optimistic. Let's use flowers, and let's make sure that we have a flowery future ahead of us. Thank you very much.